So for nearly 500 years after he left his body, we don't see a single statue of Buddha. In Sanchi and Mathura, all of his early statues are symbols, for example, an empty throne or a Bodhi tree or a pair of footprints. Perhaps it was considered bad to give him a human form, which he escaped after so much of efforts. It was only in the 1st century CE, in the Kushan burials, that we see a gold medallion, which depicts a bearded Buddha, with an inscription, "He who sets in motion the wheel of law," or in Sanskrit, Dharma Chakra Pravartako. But this art was from Afghanistan. There was another revolution going at the same time in Mathura. Here the artists looked at the ancient yakshas, which were depicted very powerful and massive, and that's why in Mathura the early statues of Buddha are very powerful and massive. But the question was, where did it start first? The answer was very nuanced, because the evolution of art perhaps was going on simultaneously in both Gandhara and Mathura. While the Gandhara Buddha images were heavily inspired by the Roman art, for example, the statues of Apollo, and this was because of the strong connections that the Kushans had with the Romans. On the other hand, Mathura art was inspired by the yakshas, which were very prevalent in those times in those regions of India. By the 2nd century CE, Buddha was no longer an empty throne. He was the person who perhaps has the most statues today. If you're interested in more such videos, then follow us.